Okay, so let's take a look at this cylinder. We're going to find the surface area. So you have to think about what that means. It literally means find the area of all the surfaces and have that total area for the entire 3D figure. So if you look at the surfaces of a cylinder, you'll have a circle. In this case, that circle has a radius of 10 yards. If we needed it, the diameter is 20 yards. It's always good to know both those things. We also have a rectangular surface, which is kind of like the label. If you think of like a can of soup, that would be the label, and it wraps up around those circles. It has a height of 15 yards. And then there's also another circle that would be the bottom. So we know a few things here. We can figure out the area of each of these circles. They're the same. Think of the top and bottom of a cylinder. They're the exact same shape and size. So we're going to first find the area of a circle. So A equals pi r squared is a formula that you would look up. You're going to fill in the values for that. We're going to estimate using 3.14 as pi. And remember, squaring means you multiply by that radius twice. It does not mean times 2. So when you multiply that out, you'll get that this first circle, we'll call it the top, is 314 square yards. I like to highlight that. You may want to circle it. That's one of our areas. So that's one surface that we have there. And then we also know that the other circle is going to have the exact same area. So we don't have to do that work all over again. We just know it's going to be the same. So you're going to use that number twice, and that's another area. So now we've only got one more shape that we need to figure out the area of. We have this rectangle. The formula to get the area of a rectangle is base times height, because that'll work for any parallelogram. The problem is, all we know about this rectangle is its height. So what you have to realize is that the rectangle's base, whether you think of that as being up here at the top or down here at the bottom, is going to wrap around a circle. So think of peeling the label off of a can. You would peel off that label all the way around this circle. Well, around a circle is called the circumference. So in order to get whatever this base is, we have to find the circumference of that circle. So we're going to do the circumference formula from your reference sheet. 2 times pi times radius. So it's going to be 2 times 3.14 times 10. And you're going to get that the circumference of that circle is 62.8 yards. Now this is not an area, so I'm not going to highlight it. What it does tell me is that the base of this rectangle is 62.8 yards. Now I have enough information to figure out the area of the rectangle. I'm going to fill in that the base is 62.8 yards times its height, which is 15, yards. And when I multiply that out, I get that the area of this rectangle is 942 square yards. That is another area, so I'm going to highlight that. Now to get my final total surface area, I'm going to add the areas of all three surfaces. So 314 for the top circle, 314 for the bottom circle, and 942 for the rectangular surface. And I get a total of 1,570 square yards for my total surface area. So I find the area of the circle, the circumference of the circle, and then the area of the rectangle, and add them all together.